Guys, what's up? Eamon and we are going to chat with you about a trade that Ed took on Facebook using the stock trading simulator that BBT has to offer. And I think you'll like the setup. We have some good things that we want to talk about on the higher time frame, so let's dig into that. What we can see on the daily is the previous day it threw a doji. After this huge sell-off that it had, it threw this doji. And so we're looking at the doji thinking, if it breaks above that, we could continue, have a trend continuation to the top side. Or if it breaks below it, we could have a continuation to the downside. And so Ed actually took this straight out the gate after at the open, right when it broke above the pre-market. But what we like about the higher time frames is as soon as it breaks to the top side off of that doji, there's not a lot of resistance because we've been in this kind of downtrend where it hasn't consolidated yet. So there's some good levels to take a look at where it might stall for a minute, where you could take partials and possibly add in as well into a continuation into the trend. So around like 227, yeah, we've got like a nice level there on the 60-minute. And then if we go up a little bit and back the chart up a tiny bit, you can kind of see another level there around like 230. So we'll be looking for those as resistance points for a long play if we get into the long side. So yeah, so Ed took it right at the open. So let's check that out.
Yeah, that is actually a good trade, and Ed's actually an amazing trader for Breakout. He has a unique style. Um, we will be walking through his process and what he did exactly, but at the same time I could give you some comments from my perspective and what you could also do to improvise us. You really don't need to trade as any of the moderators is trading. Just pick the general idea, pick the information that you need, and then play around and try to come up with your own style. So on the smaller time frames, if you take a look at the 5-minute chart, you can see that there is sort of a resistance up here, 224.70, 224.60, 200, yeah, sorry, 20, yeah, 224.60 approximately. This is the level which is the pre-market high. If we clear this area around here, we are good to go, as Megan said, all the way back to 231 at least, if we clear the resistance before that. Now we could play this out at a bigger time frame just not to get bored. You could see at the beginning it is starting to sell off, coming back up closer to the high. They're still stalling around. Let's wait for that. And this is the break. A little bit fast, a little bit too late. Better entry would have been before the break a little bit. Usually if you wait for the break and you enter after the break, you get some slippage. So try to get that habit to enter slightly before the break, like 1 cent before the break with the momentum, so that you don't get a slippage. Now the big issue around here is this sell-off around here, and here you can manage the trade in two different ways. Personally, for me, what I would do is once the stock breaks this level around here at 223, I'd be getting out. Like example, this is me getting out around here. Stock gets back, for example, to the original entry, and I'd be re-entering. This is a late exit. That would have been the exit around here. Re-entry just to have a better risk reward and a good stop loss. Some people, they do it in a bit of a different way. Their win rate is huge. So they don't go for a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 risk to reward. They are okay getting big losses sometimes and covering that with the win rate. So another way to do this is you enter around here, and you know that if the stock, for example, goes below this level, which is 220, I'm for sure done with the trade and I'm out. And here you take like a huge hit or maybe a huge loss. But you know the strategy. You saw that MD was selling off for a few days. It definitely needs a pullback. It finally closes the doji. It broke above the doji. So most probably today is going to go up. You're okay to accepting that huge loss, and you do not exit around here. Just simply hold on for the move up. The way I prefer to do it, cut the loss, re-enter, and then hold it. What Ed did around here, once it started breaking the high of the day, he scalped it, and I wouldn't say that that's exactly a scalp. That's $2 or $3 move. It's enough big of a move for Facebook. That's around 30 to 50% of the ATR, and he started scalping it all the way up. What you could do also is implement the ATR for your target. You could see that the average true range in Facebook, if I'm not wrong, it's somewhere around $8. I think it increased a little bit more after the gap down, maybe up to $10. I'm definitely not going to be going up to $10. That's a little bit too much after the gap, but I would go for the average, which is $7 to $8. The low is at 222, so you could simply hold it at least to 229, maybe if it continues going higher or goes back to the high of the day. You could see the stop loss still holding. You could hold it for the remaining of the day. If it breaks up, that's awesome, and that is the break a little bit later. Still not breaking, hold it for longer, one of the good things about the simulator. You could just simply either increase the speed and watch it, or simply scroll it down, because you know that, okay, my stop loss is down here, I'm definitely not out until it goes below it. My target up there, I'm definitely not getting out before my target is hit. And there is the break happens. Could lock in something else, or just simply hold it to the 229, which is here. That is your target. It's hit. That's a full ATR.
You could also add into that as well. Just want to jump in here really quick, Eamon. On that spot right there where it broke out, you can see that it was consolidating for a really long time that day. So when it broke out on volume, that's also a really good place to add if you wanted to add into your position, if you had conviction that the stock was going to go to that higher time frame level.
Exactly. That's actually a good note around here. You see that the stock has been holding in this range for around 3 hours or 3 hours and a half. And breakout traders, they're looking for breaks of the half days or breaks of important levels. And here you get a breakout, and that breakout also happens with increasing volume. You could add to your position, and right now there is literally no need to have your stop loss way down here at 223. You could simply move your stop loss, and I do it in two ways. One, you either move it to the middle of the range, two, the previous 5-minute candle, or three, the last level it bounced from on the 1-minute chart. These are the way I do it. You could definitely use one of those, or you could come up with your methods or metrics for adding and stop loss right there. So hey guys, that was it. That's the video trade that Ed executed. There is a small touch from us around here. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or Megan, Eamon at Beatable Traders, Megan at beatabletraders.com. Make sure to follow us. You will see our Twitter handles around here. You can always post any questions, tag us, and we'll be happy to reply to any questions. Your comments are appreciated to this video, and have a great weekend, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.